Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and this week we're going to do Valentines. We're going to do a card this week. So this is basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to make everything from scratch, including the nice background in there, which you can also use in the other two hearts if you like. I have got a rolled rose that I'm going to put on each one with some leaves, and then I am going to do a bit of spraying and flaking with that. So this is basically the card. Let's get on and I'll show you how to do it. We're going to start by I'll show you how to do the background heart lattice. I'm going to move it all to the side to remind me what I do have to do, so I don't forget anything. So obviously, to start this off, we need a circle and a heart. Okay, so the heart you want to size down, not right the way down. You can work bigger and then size it up when you're ready. So to do this, you want to duplicate twice. We want a line of 3 hearts, but we want them quite far away from each other. We don't want them too close. I tried that. Actually, I might still have it on here. I didn't like it as much as the one where there's quite a lot of space in between. I think this looks better. If you want to do it this way, you're just going to put the hearts a lot closer than they are on the one we're actually doing. So, yeah, I prefer the other way. Just going to delete that one. So what we need to do first, let's get out the layers. We're going to align it down the center, and then we are going to distribute evenly, but vertically. There we go. That's what we need first. And then we're going to pick up the path tool and draw a line straight down the middle and double click. And then just grab them all and make sure they're all aligned again. And then we're going to get this and offset. We want it at 4, and we want to delete what's originally there. So then it becomes a cut base. See, like that. And then what we're going to do is weld it. So we have 3 hearts in a line that are welded. Now we need another heart. I was meant to duplicate. Apologies there. So we want this one to be a little bit smaller because it's going inside. So we're going to put it inside, and you can make it as thick a frame or as thin a frame as you like, and then duplicate twice. And we're just going to do that, and then we're going to get all 3. So with one selected, click shift and select the other 2, and again we're going to align so that they're all right, and distribute so that we know they're all in exactly the same place. And then you're going to group it. You select both and subtract, and now there's nothing in the middle, so we've got our holes. Now I like the idea of putting some little holes here so that we can put some gems in, but we have to allow for the fact, although I'm not going to use this, I'm going to show you, we have to allow for the fact that the next lot of hearts is going to be going kind of there. So we have to think about that when we're putting the little gem parts in. So, circle, I put mine down to 0.20. tiny, but it's the perfect gem size. If I show you, that's what size that one is. So it's just nice to put a gem or a pearl if you want to do that. It might be nice to put it just above the heart maybe. Let's try that. So again we need 3. We'll put one at the top there, one down here, and then we are going to hold shift and pick up the other 2. No, I don't want that. 1, hold shift, 2, 3. And again we're going to align them and make sure that they're evenly distributed. If you group them, I'll move that out the way, and just grab both groups and make sure they're both aligned so that you know the circle's in the center of the line, and then weld it. So that's just one stone. Let's work with that and see how that works. So we can get rid of this now. I was just using that to show you that you have to allow. If we duplicate, and we want to go not quite in the middle but a little bit in the middle, and you need to make sure that the lines are just over the hearts, and then you grab both and weld. Duplicate again, and this time we are going to go a little bit further down. There we go. You can usually make sure you're right if this line is in the middle of the line it's going down. That seems to be perfect. So again, weld, and then layer, duplicate. This time, although we still want to go down the middle, we're going to get both and align them through the middle so that we know that they're the same, and then weld. And you can see there, that is basically what that is. I would do it one more time. Layer, duplicate. So we're making sure this line is in the middle of that one. That seems to be the perfect fit. Now we're going to grab both, align through the middle, and weld. And let's just colour it so you can see it's the same thing. Ooh. And we can make it smaller for us. So that's our little heart trellis that we've made. Like I said, if you prefer more hearts in between, then just make the spaces smaller in between. So then we want the actual heart, but what we're going to do is put this to the side, and we're going to get this heart, and I want one at 5.5 inches. So I've kept maintain aspect ratio and put it there, and then we are going to layer, duplicate, and we want the others at 3 3/4 inches, and layer, duplicate, and them two are going to go on the side like that, and then we're going to go 10 degrees either way. So if you watch over here, the angle, we want to go to 350 this way. You can do it by changing it that way if you prefer. Like so, this one we want 10 degrees. you can just push like that. And then you want them evenly either side. So first thing we're going to do is grab them all and make sure that they all hit the same bottom, because that will be the bottom of the card we're making. And then we can fuss with moving these out so that they're the same. Oh, there we go. We'll distribute evenly. I feel that that's about right. So, what we do then, we go to offset and we want it at 8, but we want to leave as is because we want the original toppers. And we're going to click OK. They come separately, so you've got one selected, hold shift and pick the other two up. What did I do there? Okay, I am going to back up that because I moved one. So select all three. If you lift them out, you weld them, and they become a backing topper for the card. So when you put in your red on, you've got a colour behind it. But we need another one, so we're going to pick that one up again, and we're just going to click OK again. We want the same thing again. And this one is going to be the card itself. So we're going to move all these over to the side, and this will be the card base. So what we're going to do now is duplicate and flip, and that will give us a double-sided card. We want it just over so that it all weld together and have something on top. And then we are going to grab both, make sure that they are aligned, going through the middle and weld. And that is our card base. Now if you've got bits like this, you really don't need them. So we are going to delete them. You can now click delete to get rid of them. You don't have to go up to the minus. That must have been one of the new updates. Okay, so that's our card base. So then we've got the topper to put a nice paper, a mirror board maybe. That's what I'm thinking, a mirror board or something like that. We've got our little side ones like this that we're gonna put. I want to put a rolled rose and then some mixed media on them too, but the middle one, which is here, I am going to put all these. Let me just group them so they don't get lost, and I'm going to put all these over to the side, and I am going to bring the main heart and the back in. So now we need another curly heart, because we're not going to do it as offset, and I'll tell you why. Well, I'll show you why. If you go inward on one of these curly hearts, it doesn't keep the shape. As you can see, it's a completely different shape. So what I'm going to do is just do another heart inside, and I want it so that it is, I think I decided 4.5. Yeah. So we're now going to bring that up to here. So we know we can do this one a little bit smaller, not too much, but a little bit. You want it so the heart is covered. So you want to right click on these and bring it to the front. Then grab both and subtract, which is the 4th button on the process overlap down here. And there you go. That's that done. You bring it over here, grab them both and centrally align both ways, and then again subtract. So that is now one piece that's going to cut out in lots of different hearts. Again, I'll colour it so I can show you. There we go. Just like that one. See, that one I've done the hearts a bit smaller, so you can do that. And then one more heart. Okay, so the last piece is the verse. Now we're just going to put this bit in place. I think it's this piece here. There we go. Now I've chosen a verse I got off Design Bundles. It says, I remember the first day I looked into your eyes and felt my whole world flip. So I think that's quite a nice middle sentiment. And that will go in there. And then the rolled roses, like I said, I'm going to put either side of here. So we need 2 of them as well. So once you've cut all that out, we'll go over to the craft table and put that together. I just want to go over a couple of other things. I want this on its own, so I'm going to ungroup. Okay, I want all this stuff besides that over there. Before I forget, this inner layer you can also use for your insert to go inside. The layer that goes on top of the card first. You can still use the shape to make your insert as well. So if you want to do an insert. Now this card is fairly big, so we need to make an envelope. I'm going to keep it here so I can show you which sizes you need to go. So it's 1080 width. Let's get a square. We know that's 1080 width, so we need to do this bigger than that. So let's start with, let's go 1125. I never make envelopes big enough, I'm terrible for that. So that we know it's there, but we only need to go halfway. Now what's the, I'm just gonna, the height is 1143, so we need to go about 6 inches, I'd say. So I am going to click back on the box. We've got 1125, and then we're going to untick aspect ratio, and we're going to make this 6. And that's the actual size of the envelope we need. Let's just check that it's going to fit everything in. I'm going to go up a bit more. Let's do 625. There we go. Now we know it's going to fit. So although that is a single bit of envelope, we now need to make it to stick together and do the whole thing. So now we need a shape for the top, and this one is perfect. We'll just flip it, and we know that we want it, what size is this? 1125. So we know we want that width to be 1125. I haven't got maintain aspect ratio on, but that's a good thing because I was going to squash it down anyway. So I'm just going to get them together and make sure they're aligned. And then this can come down quite a lot. I'm sorry. So click them both, align them again, and then I am going to just lift that up a little bit. Click back on the other one and weld. I'm going to undo because I keep forgetting to tell you the steps. First of all, we need to duplicate that because the back can be just that. Okay, so now click on both and weld. So now we can take that out the way as well, so we can just see the envelopes. So we've got a back and a front for the envelope. Now we need to do sides to stick them together. We have not got a lot of room left. So I'm going to do it on the back. We need one on the bottom. Now I normally use this shape. I think it might be a bit skewed. Just flip it because it needs to be $11.25. And then what we're going to do, if we click on it again, we can move this. Hold shift so it doesn't go any wider, and just bring it over a little bit. Then click, hold shift, so that's that one, and we will duplicate so that we can move it onto the sides and change the sizes and everything. So we need to rotate, let's go 90 degrees. That's on this one, and the side is 625. Oh, that's the side we need to change. Oh, to 625. But as you can obviously see, what we're going to have to do here is bring this in quite a bit because we're not going to have a lot of room. And then we're going to duplicate that, flip it round and put it the other side, like that. And then we are going to make sure that them three are all aligned through the centre. Okay, they're okay. And now we're going to make sure that them two are aligned down the middle. And then weld them all. And then what you need to do is get your path tool, do one from there, double click, and you change it to a dashed line. I choose this one in particular because it's not as big and it doesn't rip the paper. Sometimes the bigger ones can end up making it rip. Do the other side. Same thing. And then one more. You have to click the path tool every time you go to use it. Hold shift. Go across. And change to a path tool. Sorry, change to a dashed line. Okay. Now we've got that. I'm just going to move that over and make sure that we... Okay, let's try going up the top. There we go. We're going to group that. So that's that one. And then this one we just need one line across the middle. You don't have to do this, you could do it yourself if you prefer. Score it once you're over at the craft table. Group that. So there's your envelopes. What might be better if you're worried about it fitting, that should be okay. But what might be better is to do one side on this one and the opposite side on this one, so that you've got a bit more room. But to be honest, that should be okay. As long as you're within the red lines, you'll be okay. So that's your envelope. I've left a bit of space in case you bulk it out quite a lot. And now we can go over and work with the craft table. Okay. Right, so I'm over at the craft desk. And I've done one of the rolled flowers so you can see how it come out. I haven't glued it yet. But I'm going to do another one just so that you can all see how to do it. So it cuts out like that. And then what I've done, because we want the red showing, if you just move your poker tool round it all like that, so the red is on the inside, and then start rolling from the top and just start curling it round. It does like to try and resist at first, but keep going, don't worry. Okay, now we're going to speed it up so you haven't got to sit through me rolling a whole flower. Okay, so the intention is to keep the bottom side as flat together as you can. And then the last bit is this that you stick on the bottom. But before you do that, you decide if you want a tight rose or you let it loose. I prefer it a little bit loose. I think it looks more realistic. And then I should have told you to get your glue gun ready, because the best thing for this is to use hot glue. Because it's an instant, obviously you haven't got to worry about all of the little bits sticking. So just another one there, and we'll stick it a bit better. I'm not too worried about that because you don't really see that part. It's just the gluing platform really, that's better. A bit more glue. So then just stick it all down and hold it. Right, while that one's setting, I'll show you on this one. So if you just pull it all out, little piece by little piece, then it's a little bit better. Oh, I prefer doing that anyway. Not everyone does. And you really can only do it with the big ones. Just like that. And there we go. I found some leaves I had as well, and we'll stick them underneath. But like I said, I was going to spray a little bit, but my spray bottle has clogged, so I'm going to use a paintbrush instead. I've still done it with a lot of water because I don't want too much there. So all I'm going to do is splatter over so it's not just a plain boring white card. And I want it in the red, and I chose, this is an indigo blue paint because it's a very similar red to the card I used. Okay, that's all I want. I don't want too much. You can do whatever you like. And then I've got the Aurora flakes. Now I've got one that's got silver and reds and pinks, but it's the closest I could get to red. And stencil glue. And I'm going to just flake around the edges a little bit randomly. I'm just going to put a blob of the stencil glue on there. Other glues are available, of course, but you know me and my pin flair, I do like to stick to a brand. The indigo blue flitter glue is actually really good too. So, and I'm going to dab it on and then take it off. And all I'm going to do is brush around the sides like this. I don't want too much. The reason I've used silver is because I made the middle piece of card under the heart lattice silver, so it's got to match. For those of you that have never done flaking, it is so much easier than it looks. The trick to flaking is not too much glue, literally a scraping of glue, and leave it for a little while. This is stencil glue is tacky glue that stays tacky, which is the same as the indigo blue one. It will stay tacky for a long time. Obviously we use it to retack our mats. Okay, so I'm going to flake straight away. You would normally wait. Now this is the worst thing about flaking, getting them out and back in. So just use the tiniest bit. I've got glue on that hand. I'm not going to use half of this, most of it can go back in, but this is where I go a little bit different, because I like the indigo blue. I think it's called a scoochie. So, well, first of all, you pat down and make sure all the glue is covered, because you don't want to leave any glue. Okay, so that looks terrible. I'm just gonna move it over a little bit. That's not gonna work. Okay, let's put the lid on so I don't blow loads everywhere. So then the thing I like about this scoochie is then you just rub it along and it takes off anything that shouldn't really be there. So that you're left with that. There we go. So I'll just do the other one. Flakes are a nightmare to control. Let me just put them back in there so they are out of the way. But it gives such a lovely effect to your work, especially these ones. I mean, I've got these as a Christmas present and I adore them. Normally I go for indigo blue flakes, but these were just so pretty. I tell you what, I'm making more mess than I'm trying to clear up. So let's put that out of the way. And now it's just basically putting the card together. So let's do the mess of my mat. Okay, so when I showed you how to do the card, I didn't tell you to put a crease across here. If you want to do that, then you just do the path tool from there to there and change it to a dashed line, the same. But to be honest, it folds pretty well anyway, so I'm not too worried. But if that's what you want to do, that's how you do it. Now the first thing we've got to put on, so I used silver mirror board. Okay, so we've got that far. Now we want to put the roses on with the leaves, and we want to put the sentiment in the middle. I was going to flake the sentiment as well, but I think it's going to be too much. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the sentiment as it is. Now I've got these Nuvo Dream Drops that I'm going to put on the little... I would normally, if I'm being honest, go for pin flare drops because I like them. But these have got this kind of multicolour in them. They're lovely. They're white, but they've got other colours around them. So I'm not going to do the middle because the sentiment's going there. You can do gems or whatever you prefer. Okay, I think I've got them all. Oh, I missed one there. So then I am going to use the glue gun again just to stick the roses down, and I'm hoping there'll be enough there to stick a couple of leaves into, one each side. I've managed to get flake all over the leaves. It will brush off. So I double padded the back of the sentiment because these come up a little bit. I think I just need that extra little bit of room, little bit of padding. And there we go. So there is the finished card. I hope you like it. If you have any trouble, give me a call. And don't forget the card here, the silver card that you cut out, you can cut out in paper for an insert as well. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.